This video is to assist you with the Excel portion of your final project. What I'm looking for in this project is for you to be able to start from a blank worksheet. Now, I started to type out some information. So here's some components I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to demonstrate that you know how to go to File, Save As, and then make sure you're taking your spreadsheet to a location and providing it with a name. I'm going to look up here, up in your title bar, to look to see if you named your workbook. I'm also going to go down here to the worksheet to see, did you name your worksheet with some kind of name? So I'm looking for the workbook name in the title bar, and I'm looking for the worksheet name. Next, what I'm looking for is you're going to be typing out some details. For myself, here's an example. I started off with my title, and then I have my subtitle. So I'm also going to look for the fact that you are not only typing out details, you're going over here to the cell styles, and you're applying styles to your labels. It doesn't matter what you apply. I'm just looking for some kind of formatting. So I'm also going to be looking over here to see, do you have column titles and do you have them formatted? Do you have row titles and do you have those formatted? So it doesn't have to be formatted the same way as mine, but I'm looking for attention to detail. So just come up. It doesn't matter how you design yours. I'm just showing you an idea. Mine is my budget, and I'm just trying to foresee how much I'm spending every quarter, meaning each 3 months in the year, so I can project for my upcoming paychecks. It doesn't matter to me what kind of information you display. Just gather some ideas and you're going to develop and present. But the goal is to start with a blank worksheet, and then you're going to start labeling things, and then you're also going to make sure that you're applying cell styles to your labels. It doesn't matter what kind of design. I'm just looking for a design. Next, make sure you're entering some kind of data. So some of this stuff you're just going to have to just pretend and enter numbers. So I just went ahead and entered some numbers. I'm also going to look for you to demonstrate some kind of formatting with your numbers. So I'm going to just reflect that as being money, and I'm going to make sure that I am consistent with my formatting. And then I'm just going to do the first row and the last row with this style. And I just went ahead and got rid of, and you could always increase or decrease. It's up to you. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. And I'm going to convert this back like that because I don't want dollar symbols. It's a preference. So again, you're going to make sure you're using these cell styles. You're going to make sure that you're setting up your titles using some type of margin center, or you can use the feature which we've used, center across selection. It doesn't matter which one you use. Make sure you're aligning your text in your cells using these alignment keys. I use some bold here on my titles. Now, the next thing that I want you to make sure that you're applying some kind of formatting to numbers. I want to see that on there. Now, the next thing I want to see is you demonstrating the use of these basic formulas, whether it be a sum, an average, a max, or a min. It's up to you. As you can see, I decided to use a sum so I can sum those numbers up. So you need to display a function, have the capability of using the copy handle to fill that function down. And remember, anytime you get any pound signs, that just means that you have to double click here so you can auto adjust, meaning there's not enough column space to handle all those characters. But you can see that copied my formatting, those dollar symbols all the way down. I don't want that. So make sure you're consistent with your formatting. If I don't have any dollar symbols here, I'm not going to have any here. The goal was to only have them in the first and the last row. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I've chose to use a sum function down here also. So I'm just going to go ahead and sum those up. So that's summing January. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go across, and I'm going to sum over the total. And again, I don't have enough column space. I have to make sure that's wide enough. Now I can see I have the total style applied at the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and convert that to comma because I only want my first and last row to show dollar symbols, because sometimes too many dollar symbols can just be a little confusing to the eye. And then lastly, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to apply my total style to my bottom line just to make that information stand out. So now I've just demonstrated the use of the sum function. Now, and then I'm just going to delete this out. All right. The next thing that my expectation from you is to apply some kind of conditional formatting. So my choice is I'm going to highlight this range of numbers and go over to conditional formatting. And I'm going to say, okay, well, anything that's greater than, and I'm just going to type 450, okay, which it's recognizing it already. It doesn't matter what style. I'm just going to go ahead and just go with the default option of light red fill with a dark red text and select OK. So it's showing me, it's conditional formatting showing me anything that's larger, not equal to 450, anything that's greater than 450, I want it to have this special formatting so it jumps out to me in my total. So it doesn't matter what range, you could select a multiple range and apply it. It doesn't matter. I just want to see that you're capable of applying conditional formatting. While we're here on this toolbar, I also want you to make sure that under here you can adjust your row and column height. Make sure that you have adequate space, and I don't want anything that's condensed like that and you are not able to see all of the words typed in those cells. Make sure that you're handling with taking care of your column widths or even increasing your row heights. So I want that demonstrated also, to show that you have the capabilities working with this feature or that feature, or either the auto fits. And lastly, I want you to insert some type of chart. It doesn't matter what kind of chart. For myself, this here, if I was to chart all this information, I would have to start from this empty cell so I could grab January, February, March and all my different categories. And you can go to recommended charts based on your highlighted information, and it's going to recommend the best charts for the data that was highlighted. You can use any option you want. But for myself, because I know I have a lot of different categories, maybe I just want to focus on a particular category. So I could do that by, remember, you can just highlight a row and then you hold down your control key to skip rows. But I'm just going to go ahead and take a basic, go over here and I'm going to go to the 3D column and I'm going to go ahead and select one of these options. And you can see, and then when you're scrolling over, it'll give you the different views. But once I go ahead and select something, I want you to go ahead and position it. So, I'm sorry, let me undo that. So I want you to go ahead and make sure you position it somewhere. It can either be underneath your data, or you can move it to an entire new sheet and call it the chart, or, you know, whatever chart, you know, however you want to name it. So I'll just type chart for now and select OK. But once you have this chart displayed, you need to go in and you're going to have to update a title. I need for you to type out a title name. I need you to go down here and make sure that you're fine with how this information is displayed, or you can switch it to have the different category, you know, your legend appear differently. I want to make sure that you increase the size of that legend so it's visible. So again, you're going to think about your legend, and remember this charts element button. This here, you can position the legend at different areas of your chart. This is just to recommend it. But I want you to make sure you have your title, your legend visible somewhere on the chart, and then I want you to select a style to change the appearance. And if you want to change the layout, that's fine. You can apply a different layout, but just look at your different options. So that's what I'm looking for. So just the basics. So backing up, again, you should have a worksheet with some kind of data. You're going to have to enter your information. It must be formatted, your words, your numbers. You're going to have to demonstrate the use of a function. You're going to have to make sure that let's see. I think that about covers it. So just making sure everything's labeled appropriately. And then your final step, and I'm going to move this so it's the second one, is to make sure you're including a chart with your data.